we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
All right, guys, it's a beautiful, cool morning, and I'm standing out in the driveway with my dog Pete. The new truck right there. So you guys know, I know we discussed it on one of the last videos. I ended up getting the Toyota Tundra, and so far so good. They gave me a lifetime engine and drivetrain warranty with the truck. That's incredible. I think I still got also, they threw in 4 years all service and maintenance. So I don't even have to rotate my own tires. It's gonna make me lazy, I think. I'm so used to doing everything. We're gonna feed the fish on the dock real quick. This video, I have my friend Tyler Lofton and his beautiful wife Betsy. Am I allowed to say that about my friend's wife? Him and Betsy are coming down, and then I said we were getting some animals. I'm sorry I got you guys at a bad angle. Fish are going crazy here. They are doing good. So they are bringing my female blackthroat monitor down, and then I purchased, someone, I guess she made a post saying that multiple people said I was looking for a black roughneck monitor, and she reached out to me, and I really don't need to take on something else. So, you know, we've already discussed this, that I have my hands full with what I have, and taking on another animal is kind of a bad idea. But it is a mature male, captive raised black roughneck. What did I do with my coffee? I need my coffee. Gotta have my coffee. So I have been rushing. So she's now jumping in the truck with them. She's coming down. I looked her up. She's actually well known for breeding reticulated pythons and ball pythons. So, and she works for horticulture. She's a horticulturist, works in greenhouses. She's into plants. So am I. So I'm interested to get her feedback from this working property and what plants and stuff like that. I've been really wanting to get somebody that has, I'm an enthusiast, but someone that actually has more professional knowledge about plants to walk the property and give me their opinions. So I've been rushing to get the hallway done in our last video, and you know, we finished the concrete, and I was also touching on getting these 2 enclosures done. Reality is setting in. I'm not going to finish both of them 100%, so I'm going to focus my efforts on just the black roughnecks enclosure. It's chilly, so nobody's out yet. I'm sure somebody will be out shortly. Even when it's cold, they still come out to get sun. This is going to be the black roughnecks enclosure, but not permanent enclosure, because I think we want eventually the Arguses, female Argus, male Argus, female Argus, the trio up front, because I think walking up and seeing them tripoding and trying to see us and stuff like that, it's going to be so cool to see. And especially with the wall we have, I think they're going to tripod a lot to see over the wall, to see what's going on outside of their short walled environment. I think they're really going to tripod to see over those walls. So I think that'll be cool. So I think, like, when I count out the rows of this, I really like Bubba being up front, but I think if I did the trio of blackthroats, I think Jane we will end up selling. If anyone's looking for a proven breeder female blackthroat monitor, I'm gonna see if this last mating with Onyx, if she's gravid from it or not. So we'll ride that out a little bit, but I will keep the 2 younger females and let Jane go if that works out for somebody else that's trying to locate a female that's of breeding age. And then just have a trio of black throats, and then my trio of white throats, which would come 3 cages over. Yeah, look, see the young male, he's sitting out on his shelf. Gosh, big as can be. And then that would give us 2 enclosures at the end. And I think that would be an ideal place to put Bubba and the black roughneck monitor. So Bubba could go into this enclosure, and then the black roughneck, this would be his permanent enclosure. So we're gonna have to finish up this row to really branch this thing out for the black roughneck. But for now, he's gonna get housed over here. So we're just gonna do our basic enclosure. This is the second enclosure we were working on the other video. See, I was just about to do the wall with the door, but it's just too much. It's just too much. So in this video, we're gonna knock this thing out, get this enclosure set up, and then we will introduce the animal to the enclosure, and you'll meet my guests at the end of the video. So let's get started. Well, I might as well say what we're gonna start on. First things first, getting that wall built with a pass-through door. So I need to get that wall built first and this screen attached to the wall. So that's what I'm gonna knock out first. All right, guys. Got the wall all done, and if you remember correctly, we still have to go with the cutoff wheel and get any screw tips that are penetrating that lumber and nip them off. Also, I noticed that some of my staples from the screen actually came off, so we'll go around and we'll clean all that up with a cutoff wheel. Also, when I purchased my staples for the 1/4-inch staple gun for the screen, Home Depot only had a longer length. And so now on this side, I have all these awesome staples sticking out through the lumber that I gotta go nip off. So kind of a pain in the butt, but it's all they had in the galvanized product that day when I purchased. So I had to do what I had to do. I've got the pass-through door, even though we don't need it for this animal, but we will need it for a future animal. So that wall is just about done. And the next thing to do is the next roof truss. And so I believe we'll do the divider to here and put up these 4 panels of roof screen. I think since I already have that 2x12 or 2x4 out, I also have this one. So I think we'll hang that one to finish that next enclosure as well, since we already have the lumber out here and it's only gonna warp once you have it sitting outside, getting moist and dry and all that. So we're gonna get started on that, and then we're gonna get this roof screen hung. Okay, I have the roof trusses up and enough to finish the next enclosure over. So I just gotta do the 4 sheets of roof screen. Remember when we originally cut it, I think they're into 75-inch lengths. So I can do a half and a half. It's definitely more manageable for me that way. And then once I hang the screen, then I do my strips over it. Now, these 2 were full lengths, so I don't put a strip over a full length. I'll do it on the end, but I don't need to do it there, because if the animal pushes up this staple, it's only looping over into its own enclosure. But here, where it's a half and half, there will be a strip screwed in over the ends of the screens. And you guys see down there, my mom is digging down so I can tap on the piece of corral board, so that way an animal cannot dig underneath its slab. So she's getting that prep for me, and then I can get that Tapcon in there. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, you too.
All right, sun is blazing now, so I got the hat on, but we have the strips installed over the screen, and just on the middle sections where the screen is 2 halves, like I said, as opposed to the whole sheets. We don't have to do this one yet. We're not onto that enclosure, so it actually finished up real good right there. And now we're starting to get the corral board strips that overlap all the screen. So my mom is going through the pile and finding ones that fit good. We'll start installing all those. And coincidentally, Bubba's cage has staples, well, in most areas every 2 inches, and never had the strips. So we're gonna get the strips installed on his and get that insurance policy installed on there, so to speak, and we'll get it all done on the back side. Like I just installed this one over here, overlapping the screen, so it's nice and strong and that screen can never be pushed out. So we're gonna get all that done, because that has to be done before we can install the door. We're gonna break for lunch shortly to cool off. It's so weird. It started off freezing cold this morning and now it's blazing hot. That's a Florida winter for you. All right, the board is Tapconned on, and now I can put all that dirt back, creating a small ramp from that slab. Ideally, I mean, you could see in Bubba's enclosure that the dirt has already disappeared from there. Or maybe we never put it in his, I don't know. But ideally, I would have a couple pieces of sod. I would put that ramp there, and then I would put sod over that, and that would hold that dirt, and that would turn into grass. This will always be a male's enclosure, so it does not need a lay box next to it. So like that would be really nice to put that sod there and get that grass started. But whatever, we can always go back to that. There's a lot we have to go back to in all of these enclosures. So I'll get that dirt back, and then we have the already used boards. I think this is the last pre-cut one for a small enclosure, and then I can get the shelving done. And my mom is still going around and picking out the trim boards. So we do have some more trim boards up, but she still has the short ones. She's doing the ones on the back side. So while I'm doing the shelving and stuff, she'll keep putting cut pieces, and we'll get that taken care of. All right, I got the branches in here. The shelf is done. Water tub's already in, and all the stripping on the front is done. We have a couple more pieces on the back side, and also, since this cage is really done, but I cleaned up the cage, cleaned the water. I got the potted plant actually planted in the ground. We still need to get plants in the roughneck monitors enclosure. And then I sprayed permethrin all through the hide box, the lay box, and everything to make sure that there weren't any ticks or anything ready to jump on this new lizard. And I also sprayed the perimeter of the surrounding enclosures. So we should be good in here. Remember, this is the female blackthroat, and that's exactly what was in this enclosure before. So that should be good to go. I'm gonna work on the hide box. Tomorrow, I think it's just gonna be about the door and the door latch, and that might be it. Well, I need to get the plant in the ground. Plant in the ground, and then I'll work on the hide box. And then I'm hoping to get the door done tonight. All right, it's the next day. I'm walking up to the enclosure. I have a lot to do this morning. I have the wood just rough cut for this doorway and the next doorway that will be that female blackthroat's actual enclosure. But I did get the plant in the ground, all the branches. Now remember, this enclosure will be for a male Argus monitor later. And usually I normally put the bushier plants in the males and then the thinner plants in the females, so I can get around them and get to their lay boxes. But I don't know, I guess I flaked yesterday and I put this corn plant in the ground. But I've just got to finish the door, and I believe everything is done, including all the stripping for the enclosure. It looks so much more finished that way. And remember, Bubba's enclosure didn't have its stripping, so we finished all of that, including the backside all the way past to the next enclosure there. But I have a lot of other things to do this morning, not just finish these doors, but I have to weed whack all of the enclosures. So I'm in a perfect example. This is where Onyx and Jane are. I don't know if you guys can see how tall the weeds are getting in there. And I need to quickly do that before everybody wakes up and starts moving around, because it's not fun to do when the animals are trying to walk around. So I'm gonna get that fired up, get that taken care of. I'm also like doing bedding and all the stuff inside the house so my guests are comfortable. So I think they just got together. They picked up Kagan. I think I have like 7 hours to finish. So I gotta get moving. I'll show you guys once I'm working on the doors. And we're in the shop. These are the cuts I made last night. Just the basic boxes of the doors. I'm gonna get them screwed together with their 2 additional supports, get the screen on, and then we'll trim it out. And I'll show you once we're trimming it out. All right, we have the screen stapled on the doors, the support 16 inches up. And the only thing we need to do to finish them is, like I do on everything, is the strips of corral board overlapping all of that. The corral board, if I do a straight shot, I forget what it is, if it's the length coming down and it gets screwed there and there, it only makes all the corners stronger. And the corral board is a little skinnier than that. So these supports, I can actually toenail a 2-inch screw from what ties this in and further grabs this board, makes everything stronger. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all that done, and then we're gonna hang the door. All right, the second door we built is just staying ready. I still have to do this screen panel on the black throat female's permanent enclosure, as well as plenty of other things, but I need to do that and strip it before I can hang the door. The hinges sit on top of that strip. But I did get the one hung for the roughneck monitor. This hallway doesn't have a lock, so all the individual cages all have locks. Door opens and closes perfect. And it sits against that 1.5-inch door stop. So I don't have to make my door so tight that it starts rubbing or whatever as the wood changes. And you can see it closes well on that stop all the way around. No issues. As far as animals getting out, all of that is good. I already checked. The heat pad works in there. All the branches. I think we're good to go. So now I just got to do all the household stuff for my guests. But you guys don't need to know about all that. I'm gonna go take care of that stuff. And next time we turn the camera on, there will be some new animals here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.